Warlord book for boys, 1984. Crazy Hawk charges into action inside. Inside cover feature is on SS Ohio in 1942. Then we have a blast of codename Warlord. Then there's a feature, Bombers of the RAF, World War II. And the first one is the Armstrong Whitworth Whitley. Next up is Jonah Jones. Now he's in the British Paras. He's just a jinx. All the things that can go wrong with him. Next bomber is the Fairy Battle. And then it's time for Union Jack Jackson. In the Pacific, yeah, fighting the Japanese. Then there's a feature on the remote control robots that they use for bomb disposal. Here it shows it disarming a bomb in a car on the street. Next story is called The Ancient Mariner. This guy is helping the British to evacuate from Dunkirk in 1940. Artwork looks very similar to the Shark. Next bomber is the Vickers Armstrong Wellington, twin engine bomber. Then we have Lacey's Lady, and this is set in 1940 in Egypt. Next feature is about midget submarines that they use for bombing ships. War Beneath the Waves. Then the one and only Cassidy. He's always in yellow as well, I know. And he's fighting the Japanese in the Pacific. Next bomber is Handley Page Hampden. Then Kampfgruppe Falcon. And he's fighting the Russians. Next is a feature on the Hidden Terror, and that's mines, mine layers and mine detectors. Next is the Pawnee Patrol, and it's 1944. It's a group of British Chindits fighting in Burma against the Japanese. And here codename Warlord continues from page 10. Here's a feature on HMS Dreadnought. And then at the time there's a nuclear power submarine, also called HMS Dreadnought. Operation Sabre is based in 1952 in Korea. And then there's a feature on soldiers' equipment that protects against biological and germ warfare. Union Jack Jackson continues from page 24. The bomber feature continues with the Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress, one of the most iconic bombers of World War II. Then we have the Fighting Condor. Then feature on bombers continues with the Blenheim bomber made by Bristol. That's followed by a story called Admiral Tanky. Then we have a feature on aircraft carriers. It shows the first ones from the First World War. Then it moves into the more modern vessels. Then we have Wild Man Wild, and this is set in 1942 in German occupied France. Features the Westland Lysander reconnaissance aircraft. Then we've got Sergeant Raker. Fighting the Germans. Then we have the Avro Lancaster, the iconic British bomber. Then a story called the Phantom Corporal, Italy, World War II. And that takes us to the inside back cover feature, SS San Demetrio, and it's November 1940. So that's it. That's the Warlord book for boys, 1984, and that would have been published in late 1983.